Jen from Creative Housewives, and today I'm going to teach you how to use the Cricut Foil Transfer Kit. We're going to use the Cricut Foil Transfer Kit. We are going to use a set of the foil transfer insert cards, and we are going to use the new 2x2 card mat and my Explore 3, and we are going to make a couple of cards using the foil transfer kit. So if you've had any questions about using foil with your Cricut machine, keep watching. Okay, I'm here in Design Space, and this is the project that we're going to make today. This is the foil sparkler cupcake card. It is a Design Space project. It's already completely made, but I'm going to walk through really quick and just show you the things that I'm going to change on it. So right now it says the finished size is R10. I'm actually going to change this down to R30, and that's because the size of the card I am using is the R30 size. And that's where this area is a little bit different. It says materials to cut, Cricut insert cards, Sensei sampler, and the foil transfer sheets gold. And I am actually using the foil transfer insert cards. It is still the Sensei sampler, but I don't have to worry about buying foil transfer sheets separately because the foil transfer insert cards come with the cards, the inserts, and the foil transfer sheets that you need. So that's a little bit different there, and that's probably why that size difference. I think this project was originally made just when the card mat was just available for the Joy machine. So it says everything else, Cricut card mat. I am using the 2x2 Cricut card mat. I'm using the foil transfer tool, and that's just the regular one for Explore and Maker. And then my card set came with the vinyl tape strips for taping the foil down. And now, if you've never used the foil transfer tool before, if you walk through, it does help you here a bit. I feel like it could use a little more information, which is why I'm here showing you how to do this today. So it just says follow the prompts to place the foil over the area to be foiled on your cardstock using the vinyl strips or tape to secure the foil. So it does say or tape. I think if you were out of vinyl like tape strips, washi tape would be a really good option for this. You just want something that's not going to tear your cardstock when you remove it from the card. And then it just is careful that the vinyl strips, excuse me, careful that the vinyl strips do not interfere with the areas to be foiled. So you want to make sure that you're getting your tape just right along the edge. We wouldn't want to, like have it mostly on the edge here because, for instance, where this sparkler piece pushes out, if I had like a tape strip down this, then that wouldn't foil there because obviously that's where it needs to be foiled. And then it, just walks through. So we're going to go ahead and select Make It. So I've already changed my finish size here. I'm going to go ahead and select Make It. And because I have my Explore 3 as my machine selected, it is going to select that I'm using the card mat. I'm not really going to walk through this a ton today, but if you weren't using the card mat and you wanted to just lay your card stock or your, insert card out flat, you could do that, but you would need to have it on the mat to have an idea of where you would need to place this. So I'm not going to walk all the way through that. We're just going to assume that everybody is using the card mat for this insert card. And then, as you can see, it says material size is already the R30, and it does tell you the size, which is the 4.5 by 6.25, which is exactly what my card size says it is. So if you aren't sure on because like my foil insert transfer cards don't say R30, but they do say 4.5 by 6.25 inches. And then so it sets it here onto the first card mat slot. But say for whatever reason you needed it to be on a different one, maybe you've really used this area over and over and you don't want to use it today, then you can move it over. Because obviously, if you're not making 4 cards all the time, it's likely this front one, this first one here, is going to get used more, but mine's fine right now. So I am going to cut out a few of these. I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 so that it gives me 2 birthday cards. Since I'm doing this anyway, 2 birthday cards to have on hand. So you can see that it automatically just puts the next one right where it needs to be. So from here, we can go ahead and select continue. It's going to connect to my machine. You can see that I'm using the Explorer 3. And then it says browse all materials. So I'm going to select insert. And then it has insert cardstock. And that's what I'm going to go ahead and select and hit done. So now we want to pay attention to these next steps. So it says these steps are to move the star wheel to the center of the rail, making sure to align with the middle column of the card mat. If you watched my previous videos on the card mat, then you know that we want to do this because of the way that this card mat is a little bit thicker than the other mats, and those star wheels can actually leave marks on your cardstock. So we don't want to do that. So make sure and move those over. I'm leaving my pressure to default. I've had no problems with the insert card cutting with my Explorer 3 on that. So then it says I need no tools in clamp A. I'm going to load the foil transfer tool medium tip, so the one with the 2 lines, into clamp B. And then this is an important step, and I just thought I knew what I was doing the first time and messed up. So it says tape gold foil shiny side up on top of your card. So this is important. It seems kind of backwards because you want this shiny part of your foil to be on the card, but the way that the foil transfer tool works, I'm having a hard time saying that, foil transfer tool works is by having the shiny side up. So, and then it tells us after we use the foil transfer tool, we'll be using the fine point blade. So you want to just make sure you have all of those things together, and then we'll load that in the mat. So let's jump over to the machine itself and go ahead and get our card loaded, and I'll show you how to tape your gold foil down onto the card. So here is what the foil transfer insert card package looks like. It says for Cricut Joy. Obviously you can use it with any of the machines. Inside this, you'll have a variety of different cards. So it comes with navy, pink, and then this really light blue color. So those are the 3 card color options that come in this set. It comes with envelopes for all the cards. It comes with the insert pieces, and the insert pieces come in like this kind of grayish beige color, gold and pink. And then there's this little package, and inside this package is the foil transfer sheets. So this is what the foil transfer sheets look like. And here at the back is the vinyl tape stuff that they were talking about. So you can see well, maybe you can't see. Anyway, they're individual. It reminds me of washi tape. So you can see that there is a lot. I mean, there's 2, 3, 4 sheets of tape, and each one has a lot of pieces on it. And then inside here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure, like 12 maybe as many, or 10, I would guess, probably as many foil sheets as we have cards. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our cards and we are going to add them to the card mat. Now remember, I have a card going in this spot and this spot. So we're gonna go ahead and remove our cover sheet there. And then we'll just take the cards and slide them on into the card mat. So this is another way that you can find the size of your card. So the R stands for rectangle, and it goes to the 30 mark here. So that's an R30. And then you wanna make sure that when you're putting your card in, that you're going as close to the top without pushing it up past here, and as far in as you can. So you can see that I've got here on my end, I've got it pushed all the way in, and it is right up there close to the top. And if you feel like maybe you don't have it exactly where you want it or where it needs to be, then you can just gently pull it back. And like if I was worried that maybe I didn't have it in as far from end to end, then you can just give it like a little push and then push it down. Now with these new card mats, so see, like I messed it up here. I don't know if you can see that there's a little bit of a gap there. So I definitely want to put this one higher up, especially with any of the insert cards, because the corner slits for the insert cards cut so close to the edges sometimes that you do not want to risk being too far away so that it's cutting really close to the edge. So now I'm going to get this off from on top of these and use my brayer and just make sure that it's stuck down really well. Because the card mats are made for, you know, this easy lift and stuff, I feel like the adhesive is slightly less sticky than, it's a blue mat, so I would consider it a light grip, but even maybe like a touch lighter than a light grip. And so the most problems that I've seen people have, it feels like they're like, my card moved, or, you know, it's not cutting all the way through, or things are sliding, and it's because they don't have it stuck down very well. So I push it down with my fingers. And then when I'm using the card mat, I try to always remember to use the brayer just to make sure that it's stuck down really well. Okay, so we have both of our card pieces stuck down, and now I'm going to open my B. So I consider it accessories and blades. I know that's not necessarily exactly right, but that's what I call it. So we'll go ahead and set these in here, and then we'll go ahead and open. So this is what the foil transfer kit looks like. It comes in this box, and when you open it, and this is for Explorer and Maker machines. So I have extra stuff stuck in mine. Well, actually, this was a kit, so it came with some tape and foil transfer sheets. So then we're gonna open it up, and we have the housing and 3 different sizes or different thicknesses of the actual tool. So I want the middle one. I was trying not to drop all of them out. I want the middle one. And so to add it in, you push the plunger on the end, and then you just stick it in, and it's like magnetic, so it's not gonna fall out. And then we're just going to go ahead and add it in here into the B carriage. All right, now we need to tape down our adhesive foil. So I'm going to show you how I like to do it. So I know from my image that if we click on this here, oops, you can see that the image is, the foiled portion is really centered on the card. So that's great for me because that means I don't really have to worry about the edges. So I'm just gonna place my foil on here, and I'm gonna use gold on that one, and we'll go ahead and use silver on this one. It says to use gold, but that's for to make it exactly how they have it. We can do whatever we want. So now I have my tape here. And what I like to do is really tape down the corners. They show like taping the 4 sides. So I cut mine tape strip in half, and then starting with one corner, I'm going to go ahead and tape that corner down. And then come across, and you could actually even cut these smaller. I'm just gonna go ahead and just use these cut once. But then smooth it out and pull to the other corner and tape that corner down really well. So look, I've got a little bit of a kind of a bubble there. So I'm gonna lift this up. And I just wanna make sure that it is taped down nice and snug because you want your foil to be touching everywhere. And then, and if you run into any problems, you can always, you know, add more tape. Woo! If you feel like you, like it's not quite as tight as you want it, you can always add a little bit more tape. But I'm just gonna go through, and you can see that this is not a crazy, like, sticky tape, which is why it's great for this, because it's not going to tear my cardstock at all. So I feel like that's on there really well. There might be like the slightest little bubble right there. So we can go ahead and lift up this corner. Just make sure we have it smoothed out nice and tight. There we go. Now it looks like it's down there really well. So it expects that you're gonna use 4 pieces, I think, per card. So we can always take, like, just to really make sure we've got it taped down well, we can take this one other. I just feel like adding to the corners really helps you get it nice and pulled tight all the way across. Okay, so that is taped down really well there. And now let's go ahead and tape down our silver. Okay, now we have our foil taped down. I'm gonna go ahead and move these out of the way. And now we can load our mat into the machine. And I just wanted to show you, we talked earlier about moving the star wheels to the middle. So you can see that my star wheels are all moved to the middle and they line up with this center part between the two card mat pieces. So it's gonna go ahead and load the mat, and then we are going to be able to press play and it will start the foiling process. Okay, so now we're going to remove our foil transfer tool, and without unloading the mat, we are going to add back in our fine point blade. But we do have to remove all of the tape and the foil. So I wanted to show you, see if I can get a little bit closer so you can see this. Can you see this little tear in the tape right here? So I did not pay attention. I thought I had more room along the edges from where the foil image went to the sides. And I didn't pay attention that I do actually have quite a bit of room here and that my tape comes into the foil. So I do not expect in this spot right here that the foil actually is on the card in that one spot. So we're just going to remove the tape pieces and our foil. I'll just slide this out of my way. Oh, it looks like I got a bit lucky. It did still foil in that spot, but you can see here where it went into the tape. So if it goes into the tape, you just can't, especially if you're doing like letters or something really detailed, you can't expect that it's going to turn out quite right. Okay, so now we have the tape and the foil removed, and this is just what the foil, oh, the tape touched right there. This is what the foil looks like. So the foil presses through, and that's why you want the shiny side up. And that's why as it's going, it almost like stretches a little bit. So you can think that you have it like super tight. And then as you, as it's going, it looks like it's getting looser. That is normal, just know that. So we have our fine point blade loaded. We have the foil and everything removed. So we're gonna go ahead and press play. All right, so before I unload the mat, I just like to grab my spatula and just do a quick little check, and it looks like things have cut really well. Let's see if we can, so you can see that's a very clean cut. So I feel good about unloading the mat. So we'll go ahead and unload the mat. And this is what the cards look like before I take them off of the mat. So again, I'm going to use my spatula. Go ahead and close that up. To just gently get under. I especially like to use the spatula on this outer edge, oops, on this outer edge close to the corners, just to make sure, because you can see, I mean, there's I got really good placement on this. So there's a good space there, but it's still close, and you just don't want to run the risk of tearing those fine little areas that hold your card insert there. Okay, now we can lift this. So you can see we've got a little bit of a curl, so just bend it back the other direction. So there's card number 1. Go ahead and remove card number 2. Again, we have a little curling, so we'll curl it back the other way. Then I use my scraper tool, and I highly suggest that you push all of your scraps towards the top for the top ones and towards the bottom for the bottom ones. Otherwise, it can get in these little grooves here. And especially if you have like a lot of small pieces, they can be a pain to remove. So I just push them all toward the top. This one doesn't have a lot of little pieces, thankfully. Push them all toward the top. Get them off of there. And then we'll go ahead and return our protective covers here. This just helps protect the mat, the adhesive parts of the mat, from any dust, hair, anything that might make it less sticky. So now we've got that out of the way. So now we have our different insert colors and we have our card. So we can look at these and just kind of decide which ones we like the look of. So like if I'm looking for something, and I just noticed this little piece here didn't punch out when I removed it. So if I'm looking for something that's a little less girly maybe, like their original design had the gold, the navy, and then this bright pink. But my nephews would not be a big fan of receiving that card. So I think the gold looks really good in there. And then you have the other option of this kind of grayish color. It's like a grayish kind of beigey color. And I think that looks really good too. I like the gold just a little bit better. So now for these corners, they're a little bit different than a normal insert corner. So what you're gonna have to do is you have to push it in the one and then down so it looks like that. So just take your time, and then you're just gonna slide it in one and then down into the second one, which is kind of difficult to do. And make sure that I'm on the camera. Okay, I might need to pull both of them out a little bit. Okay, so now those two are in. So it did work a little bit better when I was sliding them both in at the same time. So now we'll try to do the same thing with this outer corner here. So we'll slide it there and then try to pull back just a little bit. Okay, there we go. There's one card complete. And now, so the silver, I think, is really pretty on this pink, maybe a little harder to see. And I think that the bright pink behind it, because this is so light and the silver is so light, I think the bright pink behind this is actually a really cute combination. All right, so now in just a few minutes, I have 2 cards. Look at that gold foil. I think the foil looks so good on dark colors. I think that one looks fantastic. This is really pretty too. A little more subtle, but really when you look at it, the sparkle, not sparkle, but it has a great shine. And it is on there really well. I really like the way the foil worked with this cardstock, with the insert cardstock. I think it does a fantastic job. Okay, so what did you think? We have 2 finished cards, both of them using the Cricut Foil Transfer Tool kit. We have the navy blue with the gold and the pink with the silver. I do think the pink with the silver is a little more subtle, so it just depends on what you're going for. I think that you will find that most of the foils really pop more on the dark colors than they do on the light colors. If you have any questions about the foil transfer cards or the foil toolkit, leave them in the comments. We have also done videos teaching you how to use the new Cricut card mat 2x2. I think they're all great and they work so well together. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe here. We're back every week teaching you a new project from start to finish. And you can also find us on social media. We're there at Creative Housewives and Cricut Inspiration. Creative Housewives is where we share all sorts of different home decor, DIY, recipes, all that kind of stuff. And then Cricut Inspiration is where we share our specific Cricut projects. Things like how to use the foil transfer toolkit, but also tips for making projects, for keeping your mats lasting, all those types of things. So leave any questions in the comments. Make sure you follow us on social media, subscribe here, and join us again next week for a new project. Bye.